The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Boom.
Hello, W4CY listeners. My name is Nitzan Mosri, and I am the Traveling Investor. This is where you're going to learn how to master your mind, body, and wallet. I'm an entrepreneur, coach, and investor, and I've spent my life studying and following the habits and mindsets of highly successful people. With that knowledge, I've created a lifestyle business where I live life on my own terms. I'm on a mission to share my knowledge to help you live life on your terms. I'm Nitzan Mosri, the Traveling Investor, and thank you for joining me as we dive into real, raw, authentic, and inspiring conversations with people from around the globe who are making an impact.
What's happening, travelers? Nitzan Mosri here, the Traveling Investor, and I got Tom Zames, philosopher extraordinaire, here with me, and it's been awesome. What's happening, Tom?
Not much, brother.
So
Excited to be back.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Very happy for us to still be alive and be here. And by the way, all you out there on W4CY, I'm just fixing my phone here for the live Facebook. So what's happening, people? Tell us where you're coming in from. Like I said, I'm Nitzan Mosri, the Traveling Investor, and this is Tom Zames, philosopher extraordinaire, and you're listening to the Traveling Investor Show, where here you're going to learn how to master your mind, body, and wallet. You're going to learn how to take everything and become whatever it is you want to become. Your higher self, another person, the person that you've always dreamt of, being successful, whatever it is you want, this is where you're going to learn how to do that. And with that being said, man, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for your patience.
we just finished a deal together. We just brokered a deal. It was a property that I own in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's an apartment complex. Our loan came due. We've owned it for 5 years, and the loan came due. I went to my boy here and scoot over, man. You're like on the. I feel like we're on the edge.
Okay.
And then I brought it to Tom. I said, Tom, we need a new lender. Tom went, found us a lender, and then COVID happened.
COVID happened. Yeah.
COVID happened.
Right before we were done with it. And
what did we do?
What did we do? We said, oh, shit.
We said, oh, shit. And as masters as we are, what happened?
We never talked negatively about it once. I'm sure you understood my updates, right?
That's right.
Without saying anything. And we kept the vibe high, and we focused on the vision of this right here, the handshake.
That's right.
That's how it works.
Yep. We kept our course. We stayed the course. We knew exactly what we had to do. We knew that, there was no other way around it. It had to get done.
Yeah.
And we went out and did it. And just before the show started, we got notification that, hey, congratulations, you're closed.
Yeah.
I guess Deborah sent the funds.
Sent the funds.
That's awesome.
She sent the funds quick.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's the importance of having the right team. That's the importance of having players around you that can make things happen, be it from your property management company, your mortgage broker, your business partners, the lenders that you're actually dealing with, right? You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
When I was younger, I didn't really understand that, but as I grew up, I got older, I definitely realized that. Yes, however strong that weak link is, that's how far you'll go, and you got to make sure that every player on your team is stronger than you. I want to be the weakest link.
Yeah. Right. There's only one way to go.
If I'm the weakest link,
strong link.
I think my team is doing pretty good.
Right.
Right. Because everybody's way above me and doing far more than what I know I can do.
And they're going to pull you up.
And they're going to pull me up. Absolutely. And then we'll just, we'll hit greatness. Right.
Yeah.
So I want to say hi to everybody out in Facebook world as well. What's happening, Alex, Julie? welcome.
Alex.
Guys, do us a favor. If you're listening out there in, Cyberworld?
Cyberworld.
If you're listening out in Cyberworld, let us know where you're listening from, because we'd love to connect with our listeners anywhere in the world. And we've got a great guest coming on as well in a little while. I don't want to pronounce her name wrong.
Dunia Rodriguez.
Dunia Rodriguez. And you wrote me a great little blip about her. Can you share? Do you remember?
The blip?
Yeah.
I do not remember the blip.
All right. That's cool.
I do not remember the blip. I copy and pasted the blip, but I will tell you what I do know about Dunia, okay? She is a wonderful woman. She came up in the medical system, saw some flaws in the system, didn't want to be a part of that nonsense. Some of you at home might understand what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And she's into holistic health, essential oils, all kinds of things.
She was pre-med.
Pre-med.
Right? At FAU, I think it was. I can't look at it because my phone is doing the thing.
I'll tell you what. I'll like this.
But yeah, a very extensive background in the medical field, being pre-med and going through all that, learning holistic medicine as well. And now it's a little bit coming back to me, like you said. She didn't feel that the medical industry, that the medical world was doing right by patients.
No.
Right? That there was a better way. There was a better way.
There's a way better way.
And they're not. And there's this video going out on social media. I think I sent it to you, and you probably saw it before I sent it to you. It's about this woman who claims to be a nurse, and she's talking. Her voice is the voice of her friend, who's another nurse in New York.
Yeah.
And, she used the word murder, in the way that the patients are being treated. Right now, we're not doctors. We don't claim to be doctors. We're not attorneys. We're not CPAs. We only play one on TV. Oh, we're on TV. No, we're not. We're not doctors, and we're not anything like that. So
even though we knew the number,
right,
the correct number, and they didn't,
right?
Whatever.
But we're not sitting here saying that what she said is true or not. We're just sharing information. We're just sharing more information,
sure.
And you get to choose what you want to do with that information. You get to choose, all that good stuff. So let us know. Chime in. For those of you on Facebook, you can also go to w4cy.com and click on Talk 4 TV, and you'll see us live video as well if your Facebook dies or if your phone dies. And, I just told you before the show, my 21-year-old niece just got the corona. She just texted me right before the show. She's feeling good. However, she can't taste anything, and it's like she says, it's pissing me off. It's annoying. I can't taste anything.
Yeah.
Right. So that mentality is that she's in good spirits. Nothing else is wrong with her.
Right.
Just that taste. And being her uncle and whatnot, I told her to go take a sorbate vitamin C, not ascorbic acid, but a sorbate, and to plow 90 grams of that stuff every day. Into her. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that's what it cures, but as her uncle, that's what I advise her.
He won't say it, but I will.
Yeah. I'll advise her to do that. I'm not advising anybody else to do that, right?
What regimen do they have her on? What do they have her taking?
Nothing right now. She's not on any medication. She's home. She's a nurse. She's studying to be a nurse. She wants to be a radiologist and whatnot.
Did they even say, hey, you might want to take some vitamin C? Not even a whisper.
Not even a whisper.
Really?
Not even a whisper.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there's also that video that of the two doctors.
That's a problem.
It is.
That's a serious problem. It is.
The two doctors out in California that they were talking about it, that they were shedding light on it, and they were taken down. So the CEO or one of the heads of YouTube, she blatantly said, we don't post anything that goes against the guidelines of the World Health Organization, and it's public knowledge of who funds the World Health Organization. So now the platforms, the media that are supposed to be unbiased, they're supposed to be neutral, right? They're supposed to let free speech, except for hate speech and death threats and shit like that. Everything else should be free flow. But no, it's not. They're censoring what we're allowed to say and what we're not allowed to say, depending on if it goes against the guidelines or not against the guidelines.
Yeah.
So watch yourselves, people.
Facebook, YouTube.
Instagram.
YouTube. What do you have to say for yourself, YouTube?
Yeah, it's really bad, right? So we know that YouTube is biased to information that's coming out. They're only going to show you what the World Health Organization guidelines are. So just know, whatever videos you're watching on YouTube right now, they go according to the World Health Organization. And you know what? There are millions and millions of people that are going to watch YouTube now just because they said that. Because they believe that the World Health Organization is actually looking out for their own benefit, right? For everybody's good.
Yeah, they're not looking out for your health.
No.
At all.
Bill Gates is talking. And there was another guy, I saw another video. Bill Gates was talking to one of the late night talk show hosts, guy that I really can't stand. He's very
they're all terrible.
And Bill Gates called COVID-19 pandemic 1. What does that tell you? It's going to be pandemic 2? Right?
I don't know.
He said in 5 years there's going to be pandemic 2. However, because of what's going on now, we're going to be ready to be able to create more vaccines and do all that stuff. So
great.
Watch.
Sign me
up. 2025, right? Let's set our clocks.
Yeah. Do it again.
Let's do it again. And someone on my social media
Let's not get pushed around this time.
No. And so that's the thing. Someone on my social media feed who was a council member for one of the cities here, I don't want to get him in trouble and whatnot, asked if this comes around next winter, are we gonna get quarantined and who's gonna do? I said, hell no, I'm not going through that. That's bull, right? If that's the case, you know what? Let's close up shop.
Yeah.
Let's go to Easter Island, hang out there forever for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Because it's 2,000 miles off of the coast of Chile. There's nobody there. You got these
great.
big statues.
Sounds good.
Right?
Yeah, there's goofy statues.
Exactly. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more and about what's going on out there today, current events, all that craziness with the COVID, with conspiracy theories. But you know what? The CIA came up with that phrase, conspiracy theorists,
right?
When JFK, I think it was when JFK was shot. Anybody that went against the grain, right? Anybody that went against the grain was called a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah.
And before that, if you went against the grain, you were labeled as a communist.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So watch what the media is doing. Yesterday I was live on Talk Tuesdays with the Traveling Investor, and I was on with Rebecca Kalus, and she was saying we cannot trust one source of information.
No.
You got to go and you got to research, dig deep, dig deeper, go find the source, make sure you know that it's credible, and then look at it, right? So many times we catch the media today doing fake news, It's all over social media. People just standing there, filming the protesters of the quarantine, and then you've got CNN going out there with a fake doctor holding up a sign and then walking away.
It's so exhausting.
It is.
You know what I mean? And people don't understand the other side, or even they turn their head to it. They don't see it, whatever.
They're not even trying to make it look real.
It's not real.
They don't care anymore. They're like, here, we're going to give you this shit right here and you're going to eat it up.
Yeah.
And everybody's eating it up. It's from all walks of life, from you hear people who have no money saying this is bullshit. And you hear people that have a lot of money and you think that they're intelligent, they're connected, they're going, oh my God, we got, this is freaky. We got to take care of ourselves. So do your research, people. Do your research. What's happening, Karen? What's happening, Jan? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to have Dunya, who, again, just to remind you guys, she pre-med, didn't like what was going on in pre-med, went the holistic route, and we're going to talk to her about everything under the sun. And also, do me a favor, go to YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check out The Traveling Investor, like, subscribe, follow, comment. We love that feedback with you guys, right? And check out Tom Zames, Zaimes, philosopher extraordinaire. Check us out on social media. Help us grow. We'll help you. It's a win-win situation. We'll be right back with the word from our sponsors. Stay tuned. All right.
What's up, people?
4CY Radio. Please take a moment to listen to the sponsors who have a secret message just for you. Don't leave. The best is yet to come. The Traveling Investor will be right back.
Behind everything you're searching for is something you're actually looking for. When you search with the Real Yellow Pages, you get more than a contractor. You get a whole new curb appeal. It's not just getting directions to a dry cleaner with YP.com. It's rescuing an old favorite from the back of the closet. And it's more than finding a locksmith with YP.com on your mobile. It's getting to sleep in your own bed. Whatever it might be, there are more ways to search and more ways to find exactly what you're looking for with the Real Yellow Pages, YP.com, and YP.com on your mobile, only from AT&T.
Hey, this is Rebel Mother. Join me for In Your Face on W4CY.com, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Toastmasters.
Fiesta Pet Deli, South Florida's original and only fresh food deli for pets. We carry a full line of products like Bravo, Nature's Variety, and BioComplete. We have FDA-approved meals that are prepared daily. Stop by our brand new store located at Sample Road and the Turnpike in the Festival Flea Market in Pompano, Florida, or call 954-971-2500. Check us out online at www.realfoodforpets.com. If your pet's overweight, suffers from skin problems, or you suspect food allergies, we have the solution. We also carry a large variety of pet strollers, bedding, apparel, collars, leashes, natural chews, and grooming supplies. Veterinarian owned and operated, Fiesta Pet Deli's mission is to help every pet owner have the healthiest pet they possibly can. Call us today for local deliveries or shipping throughout the United States. Call Fiesta Pet Deli today at 954-971-2500. That's 954-971-2500.
You are now tuned into W4CY Radio, entertainment at your fingertips.
I wanna be rich. Oh, I wanna be rich.
Attention listeners, we are preparing once again for takeoff, so please return your seats as W4CY Radio welcomes back your real estate guru, the Traveling Investor, Nitsan Mosery.
What's happening, travelers? Nitsan Mosery, the Traveling Investor. How's it going? What's up, Facebook world? What's up, Tom?
Hey, what's up, brother?
All good, man. So, so before
good laughs today.
Yeah, good laughs. So we were just talking about Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a great organization if you want to learn how to speak, if you want to come over your fear of speaking, and the that I just did, you'll get rid of that as well. And it's a great group to be able to have you speak in front of people and whatnot. Really well.
You work yourself up the ladder too. You can like start off with small roles to break yourself in, where you're only talking for 5 seconds. And then, you just keep taking on little more. You do a little speech here or there, and, next thing you know, you're good.
Next thing you know, you're rocking and rolling. You're speaking like Tom.
Yeah.
All right. You guys like the background? All right. That's the Traveling Investor logo. Huh? How does that look? Right. You guys can't see it on Facebook. All you see is a green screen. Maybe next time.
Trust us.
Right. You know what? Here, I'll show it to you guys right here. Check it out. All right. Can you see it? Let's see. Where is it? There. I'm trying. Oh, wow. I can't. There it is. Woof. Okay. Anyway, so going back to what we were talking about, the shit that's going on today with the COVID, with the pandemic, with the panic that's been global, right?
Lots of shit.
Now there's a lot of talk, right? And maybe you can help me, right? A lot of people are saying that this is trying to take down Trump, right? Because China is hurting because of all the regulations and everything that Trump has done. So this is a way that China is bringing them down. But why would they do that and bring in the entire world.
I mean, why does it have to be China? Why isn't it the puppet masters? Can we talk about the puppet masters?
Right. The puppet masters,
the globalists. The guys with billions of dollars, right? That are calling all the shots. So.
And thank God that our president, Mr. Trump, is against globalization. Right. He's always said that.
Well, he's the last bastion.
Right.
Against it. That's why they're coming for him.
Yes.
They're coming for him.
Yes. Yeah. And we got to wake people up, right? It's time to wake up.
Yeah.
Don't be led by people. There's so many of us out there that understand what's going on, and we really need to come together in a way that creates a very strong force and strong power, right? So what are your thoughts on what's going on with the pandemic and with the fact that they say it might come back next season?
It's all bullshit. 99% of everything that's associated with this thing is absolute bullshit. Okay? I'm not saying the virus isn't real. That's like pretty much the only real thing. And nothing else, like the 14-day period. I don't believe that. 14-day period.
Right.
That's to keep us all tied up. And,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's probably 3 or 4 days, right? The 6 feet thing. Come on. What is that?
Right.
That's nuts.
Now,
if it's 6 feet, that means it's really 1 or 2.
Right. Now, that the whole thing with the quarantine was not to save lives. I mean, yes, it wasn't a way to save lives, but not lives of people with COVID, with the disease, but other people. See? So, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite. You're protecting the healthy people from the sick people, and they're doing the exact opposite.
Now,
it's insanity.
Right. We're quarantining everyone. And so many doctors now are coming out and saying, you know what, that's actually not the right thing to do. The right thing to do would be to let the strong walk around, let it pass between them. Whoever gets sick, gets the antibodies and whatnot. And then the weak should quarantine themselves and get vaccines if they so choose to, right? But not everyone, right? Quarantine, you quarantine the sick and let the free walk.
Yeah.
In a tyranny, you quarantine everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
This is not, they're going to find out that almost everybody and their mother has had this thing, which will make the mortality rate like 0.000000001.
Of course, because the more people have it, the less people die.
Yeah. Not even the flu. We were always saying it's the flu. And they're like, no, it's not. It's way more than the flu. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It's not the flu. It's less than the flu. And they've got the numbers inflated, yada, yada. It doesn't even matter because if you take their inflated numbers and you add them together with all the other numbers, the deaths this season will be exactly the same as the year before and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. That's right.
Yep.
And that's if we did no quarantine also as well.
Right. And again, the quarantine was just to make sure that they weren't bombarded with sick people. So then someone who's got a heart attack doesn't have a place to go. Someone who got into a car accident didn't have a place to go. That's why they didn't want a bum rush of people in the hospital with COVID. So they quarantine all of us, really. And it's, and
hospitals are empty.
Yes, they're empty. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? She's here. She's here.
Who's here?
Our guest.
Our guest is here?
Yes.
All right.
And her name is, say it again, I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Dunia.
Dunia.
It means world.
Oh, awesome.
In Swahili?
Oh, very cool. Is she Swahili?
I can't remember. Hi,
Dunia.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you? Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. So I heard your question. I'm actually Cuban and Spaniard, but my name is Arabic. The name itself comes from many different places in Europe. And the funny thing that I've noticed always is that in all languages, it refers back to world and life. So it is very interesting for sure, but I think I'm for it.
So I got that part right.
You did. You did.
Awesome. I want to, guys, Facebook. You're not going to be able to hear Dunya on Facebook, but if you go to w4cy.com, click on Talk 4 TV, you'll be able to see and hear everyone. So I'm going to sign off. We're going to sign off right now. So go w4cy.com. See you there. All right. So Dunya, so Tom sent me your bio, and it was awesome. So you're a pre-med, or you were pre-med from FAU, right?
Yes, I went to Palm Beach State College, ended up at FAU, and my last endeavor was at Nova here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And take us through after pre-med. What happened? Where did you go? What did you study?
So there was a little bit of a, I decided to quit before I really quit. And what happened was back in 2017, late night, I'm kind of wondering what I'm going to do with my life for the next 6-7 years of medical school and everything left. And I'm scrolling on Instagram. I see this fellowship and my mind just says, oh, you're not going to get accepted. It's already kind of the last month. So I applied to this medical fellowship to shadow doctors, and I end up being accepted. I did a FaceTime interview that week. And 3 months later, I was in Portugal studying with doctors over there, which I'm so grateful to have done rather than having done it here, right? I got such a different perspective, not just of the medical model, but of the lifestyle, the culture, and how people, although they dealt with disease, it was mostly lifestyle related. So I started learning a bit more about all of that. They don't prescribe pharmaceuticals as much as we do. To them, it is totally ballistic to give a kid Ritalin, for ADHD. To them, they deal with it a little bit differently. So having seen that and come back, I went back to FAU for about another semester or two, ended up switching to Nova for neuroscience and behavior. And at that time, I was already getting certified in yoga and meditation. So I figured for my doctorate, I need to do a dissertation. So I wanted to study, the benefits of meditating and yoga and how do you bring about clarity and perception and all these things. But the more I did that, the more I realized the healing power that all of this had. All the studies were out there. So I figured, well, what the heck am I going to go study? It's all out there. And what I quickly started to realize was that what was missing was the practice, that practical approach. I worked for doctors' offices while I was going to school for about 5-6 years. So I got to see a little bit of everything in there. They don't prescribe healthy lifestyle and diets for things like heart disease or diabetes. And all the information out there points to the fact that it is all lifestyle related. Now, this isn't just me saying that. This is all in the CDC. You could go to the Center for Disease and Control. You can go to the World Health Organization right now, and you'll see all the information that says that even cancer is linked to lifestyle, right? The majority of cancer. So I really spent some time with myself putting these things together. And after a few months, I couldn't do it anymore. I tried making up every excuse as to how I would go back and, change the field, and I would be an agent for change. But the more someone said a quote yesterday that really puts it into perspective for me now, 4 years later, that the more you try to change something or bring, maybe anger, which was what drove me. I was angry that the system wasn't, up to par, but they had the information and the knowledge, right? You're not going to change it. And so I quickly realized that, and I left medical school, my endeavor for medical school. I was about to take the MCATs, and I started, really diving into my yoga practice. I studied energy healing for a year after that. And here I am today, kind of pairing all of that together, helping people through lifestyle, diet, different activities, mindset, mindfulness, and helping them just heal from a different perspective.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love Portugal. I met my wife in Portugal.
Really?
Yes, I've been
in Portugal
many times.
It's a great story, actually. You can tell her that part. Anyways,
I love Portugal. Where in Portugal were you?
Well, I stopped by Lisboa, and I was actually in the Azores in a small little island called Horta. So the Azores are just a group of 9 little islands. It is the most beautiful thing in the world. Now, what I quickly realized is that there were no movie theaters there. People actually talk to each other. Right. People actually go out and go for a hike,
What a concept.
Yeah, that was all by choice. That was the best part, is that it's not that the government didn't allow them to have these things. Just the culture didn't have a need for it. The foods were so fresh.
The bacalhau.
I loved bacalhau. I thought I loved it, until I went there and tried it.
I feel like I'm missing out on
the
something.
bacalao
Right
and what was the coffee? It started with a G. Galao and galao.
Oh, and I loved the coffee. Yeah, but I started because I had been in pre-med for so long. I didn't realize how stressed I was. And that's what happens to most of us. We don't realize that we're not living optimally because we're okay and we're just getting by. We're surviving, but we're not thriving. Right. And these people seem to be thriving with so much less than what we have here in America, even in the hospital. They seem to have done so much better with half the resources that we had here, and it was very eye-opening, and I'm very glad. And having come back here, I really focus on bringing that lifestyle that I got to live for the 6 weeks that I was over there here, because that is what really heals you, right? Mm-hmm. It's not taking a pill, but it's really looking at the symptoms that are there.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Just so you know a little bit about me as well. I've been a Reiki master for the last 25 years. I studied shiatsu, reflexology, naturopathic medicine as well. And you've got Osho cards here.
His cards.
Love it.
That's a deck inside out.
Inside
out.
So I totally, and Tom as well. We understand the concept of don't treat the symptom, dig deep and find the root of the problem. And that's kind of what's been going on now with this quarantine and this whole situation, is that people are dealing with symptoms and they're not finding, and they're not, going down to the root of it all. Right.
Exactly. And while I was in school, they didn't teach that. And it took me, listening from people that were doing it like yourself for a very long time and allowing myself to be open-minded, because at first the natural thing that you do, especially how long I was in it, I was trained to think a certain way and I didn't even know it. And I really had to change the models that I was coming from and my perception and how I was viewing things. So definitely took, some time for me to even understand what it meant to look underneath the symptom, right? And let that make sense for myself. So
Sure. And it's funny, my father passed away when I was 25 years old. He passed away of complications from diabetes and so forth. And he went to the doctors and we asked, well, what should he be eating, after his strokes and whatnot? They said, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Just give him what he wants. And, and then he passed away. And then I started understanding when I started learning Reiki, and just different things came into my conscious and my subconscious. And I said, you know what? It's all about the food that we eat. I was a big carnivore. I used to eat meat 3 times a day, and whatnot. And then through my travels, I became a vegetarian and then a vegan. And then I went raw for many years. I actually opened up the first raw restaurant in Israel.
I've seen him eat meat though.
Yes. But I haven't eaten meat in months. But you saw me. That was the last time. And it's funny because, my wife's an omnivore. She eats everything and anything. So it's very difficult to be in a relationship with someone who is putting all this there and, wants the kids to eat it and all that. So, okay, whatever, But I've noticed that every time I do take a little bit of meat, it doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
When I work out, my workout is crappier and all that. What were you going to say?
And it's very true. The one thing that I've learned also, because I was vegetarian for a long time since I was 17, for about 5 years, I was vegan. I never went fully raw, but I do love the idea behind eating raw meals. You're going to have all the enzymes in there. So today we're in a world where everything is supplemented, right? We can buy enzymes, but we're not told that enzymes are found in raw foods. Right. So whether you want to go fully raw or not, that's not the case. We should be eating more raw foods. So if you're going to have meat, making sure that you're having it grass-fed, that it's hormone-free, that you're pairing it with the veggies.
Not from China.
Yeah, not from China. So yeah, it's I've learned that we got to eat based on our constitution as well, and that changes. Who we are does change, right? When I was a little girl, I did not do well with meat naturally, and I changed growing up because, well, it was the norm to eat meat and I didn't have a reason not to. So I started kind of likening myself to these foods. And quickly I started to develop gut issues. And then going through pre-medicine, I had gut issues. And I think that's what led me to yoga and meditation. I really needed it at that point.
Yeah, it all starts with the gut.
It all starts with the gut. I love that. I read that years ago from a Swiss doctor that when you go into their ERs, doesn't matter what you're coming in from, but they're going to flush your gut first. And it makes total sense. Everything that's going into the body to be assimilated. I see food now as energy, and it either enhances my vibration or it brings it down. And the more in tune I am with myself, the more I notice that when I eat certain foods, they really bring down my vibration and they'll make my stomach hurt right away. So I've gotten, a lot better at listening to what I eat. And that's why I focus on doing what I do now. And I'm sure why you do what you do is you've been able to see that change in yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I even tell my daughters, I said, look, don't listen to me, what to eat. Don't listen to your mother. If you have a stomach ache, look at what you ate yesterday or today and understand that whatever it is you ate,
pay attention,
didn't do well for you. So it doesn't matter what I want you to eat, just pay attention to your body, right? There's certain things. So let me ask you this. So, with this whole craziness with this corona and the COVID, right? What are some recommendations that you can give people to keep themselves healthy, spiritually, physically, things like that?
Well, let's start off with spiritually, not allowing ourselves to fall into fear. One thing I quickly learned is that fear carries an energetic vibration. Your neurons are firing and wiring constantly, and everything you think, feel, and do is going to be registered. So if you feel yourself going into fear, take a few deep breaths, and maybe even make sure to set your energy in the morning by sitting and meditating. Just taking a few deep breaths, is the simplest way to meditate, right? Clearing your space and bringing in more positivity. That's going to have a really big change in your brain, right? And to enhance your immune system. Our gut, 70% of the immune system is in the gut, and it's also referred to as our second brain, right? So my next thing would be, what foods are we eating to make sure that our immune system isn't suppressed? The simple example I can give is soda. We don't realize that anytime you drink soda, the next 6 hours, your immune system is suppressed. So being aware of that, real-time effect of foods that they have on our body. If you go with a can of soda, it doesn't matter if you're wearing gloves, if you've got the mask on, your immune system was just lowered a lot, right? And realistically, when we think of the gloves, right? If you go touch something, your phone, you open a door, you'd have to change those gloves right away and put a new pair on to really not infect yourself or others. So keeping these things in mind, eating healthier foods, more, not just greens. We always hear of greens as being healthy, but I like to refer to the rainbow of the diet, right? Every color has a different phytonutrient that's going to help your body do something. And it all matters, right? That's looking at it from a holistic standpoint. And the next thing would be keeping yourself active. If you can't run, go for a short walk, get some fresh air. Vitamin D from the sunlight does wonders as well. And, keeping ourselves positive and reaching out and making sure that we're keeping engaged in the community with people that are bringing up, that vibration, not just perpetuating the fear. The virus is very real, like Tom said. It's around, whether it was made in a lab or not. I mean, I won't get into that now. It's tough to say with viruses. I never understood viruses, having gone through pre-med. They are a pack of information inside of a protein enclosed cap, right? It is not alive. It doesn't have all the structures that, let's say, a cell would to be considered live. So really, you can think of it as a little packet of information that's then going to rearrange your DNA. So to me, the viruses have been around for a very, very long time, right? So the only way you can really protect yourself is keeping your immune system strong.
That's right. I always tell my girls, go play in the dirt.
Yeah. I love that you just said that. If I can add this in, when I went to Portugal, my favorite doctor to shadow was a cardiologist, Dr. Valentin. And I went back for a second week. I was all about surgery. I wanted to have all my time I could in surgery, right? And I gave up a week of surgical shadowing to go see Dr. Valentin for an extra week. And then during that week, he tells me this, Dunia, you know how you enhance someone's immune system, a kid specifically? You throw them in the dirt, you let them play. And that just blew my mind, someone that just thought so differently. And this doctor himself had come here to Florida, and he went to Miami. He also went to New York. Back in the 80s, he was offered 2 different jobs here. He's very good. I know now based on everything he said. And as soon as he was told that he would have to work 100-hour weeks, he said, no, thank you. And he got on a plane and went back home.
Wow.
Because that in itself, when you look at doctors today, they are so stressed. So I was in pre-med and I was stressed. Okay. So I could only imagine someone working 100-hour weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
70 hours studying, going to school, working. It's not conducive. It really can't be kept up. And even doctors themselves have ailments and diseases. So to me, it's really important, that if you're practicing healing and health, that you are an example of that, right?
Oh, absolutely. You got to be the example.
Yeah.
And you got doctors working 100 hours, by the 45th hour, they're probably not thinking straight.
Well, they really aren't. And I know that recently I haven't been in school for about 4 years now, almost 4 years. So I really haven't looked much in, to the regulations of the system. But I last heard that they were going to, try to minimize those hours to about 80 because they were seeing that people weren't cognitively present. They were making wrong decisions. Now, this makes me think of a study that I found while I was in Portugal. And with everything right now going on with the censorship, it makes me really believe that we've been censored for longer than we've really been led to know.
Mm-hmm.
I found a study while I was over in Europe that basically said that when you look at the CDC today here in America, it says that heart disease, cancer, and pulmonary obstructive disease are the top killers. Well, really, the number one is medical malpractice, and the majority of it is pharmaceutical misuse and malprescription. So I have yet to be able to find that study here again, and that's why I'm actually ready to go on a trip soon again, see if I maybe find that while I'm over there. But we look at China, and they've been censored for so long, right? I just don't know that here. So when it puts it into perspective also, and when I look at it from this point of view, like you said, your was it your dad or grandpa? You said grandfather that wasn't told that he could have a healthier diet. To me, that also falls under medical malpractice. Sure. I went out of my way and I studied nutrition and these things while I was in school because I always had that interest, and I knew that diet was very important. And it wasn't part of my curriculum, but I added it in. So putting these things together, it's kind of like all these companies within the system because they're made up of different companies, pharmaceuticals, doctors' offices, research facilities. All of this together, I feel like they're kind of turning a blind eye to the reality because all the research is out there once you go look it up. Now, what was the last straw for me in school was when I asked about nutrition. In an advanced course, it was my second year studying nutrition, and this was a new teacher from UCLA, where I had read the study from. So he had just come in brand new this semester to my school. And I'm so excited thinking we're going to have a young guy. He's open-minded. He's probably going to be able to answer my questions. And he would just wave it off as it's not part of the curriculum. I'm sorry. And I was so upset at this that was my last straw where I said, I'm done with this. I am learning more from other doctors that are not in the field anymore and that aren't, limited in what they can say. And so then, that led to here.
Sure.
You had it,
Yeah, absolutely. When you're behind the scenes and you see exactly what's going on, it's like that. We talked about it earlier, like that video of that nurse that was talking about another nurse in New York. She's behind the scenes. She's front lines. She sees what's going on, and she's blown away by the malpractice that's going on, that's killing all these people. And she actually used the word murder.
Yeah.
What the nurses are doing to people, the doctors are just saying, it's COVID, it's this, it's that, and
giving them the wrong applications for the thing. They don't know what's going on.
And that right there, what you just said, is the reason why here in America, we don't see medical malpractice as the number one cause of death. But in reality, it is. And that's what and I really wish I remembered the guy's name in the study, but that's basically what he was explaining, that yes, these numbers are there, but when you look at the reality behind all of it, if you're not educating patients on lifestyle, when the CDC I made a chart, and I can share with you guys of all the top 10 diseases and what their cause was and what the CDC said. And I linked the World Health Organization and all of these, and I haven't shared this yet because it's still a work in progress, but they have the knowledge that it is lifestyle related. Mm-hmm. And when you go to different sources, what to do for the lifestyle. There are studies that say that, eating a healthier diet will have these changes, but there is still a lag in the application in the system. So I think that what really started getting me sick when I wanted to quit school and I went to yoga and meditation was that it just wasn't aligning with my beliefs and what I knew. What I was seeing and what I was being taught just didn't align. And it was either I'm crazy and I'm wrong, or they are, you know. And as a student, you look at your teachers as, you know, I can't find the right word, but you look up to them, a role model, exactly. And you want to trust what they're saying. So that definitely did cause me to open up my eyes a lot about who to trust, and just started learning more for myself, really, so that I had my own sense of judgment around it.
Absolutely. You know, I got disheartened because of how I saw the medical industry treating my father. And I said, you know, there's got to be a better way, right? Yeah. It's impossible.
It's ridiculous.
And you know, Hippocrates, right? What, you know, father of modern medicine, what is he known for saying, right? Let food be thy medicine. And, you know, we have all these GNCs and all these vitamins, and, you know, every other day, oh, look, CoQ26, protein SA, you know, whatever. And, I need that now. Oh, I need that now. But what people don't understand is that if you take that money that you're spending on all those vitamins and crap, that just goes right through you anyway. It's not even bioavailable.
Piss
right, exactly. You know, and you go and you buy yourself some fruit and some bananas and some real food. It's all there, and it's all bioavailable, and you're not going to piss yellow, and you know. But it's the whole. It's like you said. It's this marketing. It's this ploy. It's this kind of veil that you know, whoever it is putting over us and saying this is what you need. And we were talking about it also earlier. Is this? How many people are being led to the fire, you know, blindly?
Yeah, come along here,
come
here, come inside.
You know, so you know, our goal.
People aren't smart, but everyone's too busy. Nobody's got time to think about things.
Yeah, there's that.
Decide, and they may wonder if, you know, it's true or is it effective. People are very fed up with the system. I worked in doctors' offices, and I would have people coming up to me, and I would tell them, you know, I'm studying something more natural, osteopathic medicine, which I then came to realize that even their system is not as natural. That's why there was a need for naturopathic medicine, right? And it's not even legal everywhere right now. But people would come up to me and say, you know, I would come to you. I would go to a more holistic doctor. People want more natural medicine, but like you said, they're not being led to see unless they go look for themselves.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, who's pushing all these, you know, medicine? I mean, our entire college system, medical system has all been created by big pharma.
There's a lot of money in people being sick.
Of course. Why should we cure cancer when we can make $500 billion over the next 10 years over it?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that people.
Yeah, you know. So why don't you share with our listeners out there how they can reach you, where they can find you? Because we got another minute and a half left of the show. It goes by quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Well, thank you so much for having had me on, and it was a pleasure. I would love to get to know you a bit more. And you guys can find me at www.dnaholistic with a W. So that's WHOLISTIC wellness.com. And again, on Facebook and Instagram, it's the same at DNA Holistic Wellness.
With a W.
With the W.
With the W in front, yes. And the idea that I had behind that was that, you know, we have to treat the body as a whole. Like you said, it's not about taking coenzyme Q10, but looking rather at the whole and what is healthy for the heart and the whole body as a whole.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why the tagline of this show is master your mind, body, and wallet.
I love that. Yes. Because money is also part of that wellness as well.
That's right.
It's all tied together.
You got to have a positive relationship with money, with everything around you. Money is part of it, right?
Absolutely.
Paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Well, Dunya, thanks so much for being on the show. I'm sorry, you wanted to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you know, to recap earlier, because I know things can get lost in between. Things to do to be healthier are just keep a healthy mindset, meditate, eat more natural foods, not even packaged or supplement foods, but like you were saying, wholesome, natural herbs and vegetables from the earth, and keep yourself active. And I promise you that is the perfect trio for maintaining your immune system up.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Once again, thank you, Dunya. Tom, thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Travelers, we're going to leave you with this last word. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. And may the sunshine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. Until next time, I'm the Traveling Investor. Travel safe, travel well, We'll see you next week somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Take care, guys.
Love it. Have a great one, guys.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dunia.
Thank you.
All right.
Wealthy? Then tune in next Thursday and every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on W4CY Radio. You too can learn how to become a traveling investor. If you missed any part of this episode or want to hear it again, go to the Traveling Investor Podcast on iHeartRadio. You can listen to all past episodes on demand 24/7. Next week's episode will take us somewhere new and exciting, so don't miss it. Thank you for listening.
I wanna